Okay, Miss Pearl and Jade, I have a question. In these times where everything seems difficult and crazy, how do you stand on your faith without being shaken or discouraged?
That's an easy one, because I've been doing that for 45 years. You stand on the Word of God. You stand on the integrity of the Word of God, regardless of the circumstances. And I use often the story of Peter getting out of the boat and walking on the water. And he began to look at the circumstances rather than looking at Jesus, and he lost his focus and he began to sink. So if we stand on the integrity of the Word of God, we've been invited into the supernatural to walk with Jesus, and we have to keep focused on him, because it's his word that is going to last forever. Many, many years ago, I took my Bible, and I respect my Bible, but I stood on top of it, and I said, God, this is your word, and I'm going to stand on your word, because it says that everything else is going to pass away, but your word will not. So I'm going to trust your word in this terrible circumstance, and he has seen me through many of the circumstances.
Amazing. She basically answered it, but I will say at the beginning of the year, and I actually ministered here at the beginning of the year with this word where I said, what was the word that God gave me for 2020? And the word that he gave me was character, standing on the character of God. And the character of God is exactly what she just said. It's the word. We find his character in the word, like 1 Corinthians 13, where we see that his character is patient, it's kind, it's gentle, it doesn't provoke evil or anger or jealousy, it doesn't count wrongs. So we find his character in the word of God, and his character is unchanging. And we, as people, we're very moody at times. We can be as bright as the sun on one day, and we can be a thunderstorm the next day because of our emotions. And so you can't always depend on people to be that way, and you can't depend on life to be that way. You can't even depend on the weather to be true, or the media, or anything else. But you can stand on the character of God, that it will never, ever change. He remains exactly who his word says he is. And if you don't know what the word says, you don't know who God is. How can you stand on God's character? How can you stand on God's heart? So generationally, you've been in this longer than me. And I can say from me starting at 12 and being where I am, we have kind of a solid answer. It's just the word of God.
Absolutely.
You get through every challenge in the word of God.
Absolutely. I've been walking with him for 45 years, and I've had many a challenge, and some of them very severe, some of them life-changing. But I can tell you for a fact and for certain, the character of God will always sustain, because his word is his character is his word, and that will always sustain through any storm. And that, it's just as simple as that. You just trust him, because he's trustworthy, and he will never fail. He will never fail.
Love never fails.
That's right.
1 Corinthians 13:8.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.